Hello, everybody. It's Sarah, and it's time for Coffee and Crochet with Sarah. It has been a weird couple of days. On Saturday, the temperature here was 101. It was so hot. Today, my phone read 33 degrees, and it's snowing. So on Saturday, we hit a record high for 101 that late in the season. And today we're hitting a record low for the earliest in the season. It's 33 degrees and it is snowing. So I've got my snowman cup. It does say Christmas on it, so I'll just cover that up with my finger. You can just see my snowman. I cannot believe this crazy weather. One really good thing from this is we've had so many fires here in Colorado, and as soon as they seem to get one under control, another one just pops right up. And so it rained all night as the temperature dropped, and I know that's going to help put those fires out. And of course, it's going to snow all day and through tomorrow. I am having a little bit of a snafu issue with my internet. So if I accidentally, by no fault of my own, go away, don't panic. It's been kind of coming up and down. And so I'm going to try to get to everything before it does anything silly. So welcome to another crazy day at Posh Pooch Designs, Coffee and Crochet with Crazy Sarah. Alrighty, now you may be wondering why I'm wearing this lace scarf. Oh wait, we forgot to clink in. Before I do that, let's clinkety clink clink clink. And you know what? I'm just drinking regular old coffee today. It was so cold out, I needed coffee. A good hearty a good hearty start to the day with my Folgers coffee. So what are you all drinking? Let me see if anybody's posting what they're drinking. Clinkety clink clink clink. I'm curious to know if any of you live near the fires. I know they're like all over the place, and how you're doing, and also if this rain is helping. So Cheryl says they're about to get 8 inches of snow when this storm is over. Wow. Right here in my area, they're predicting about 6 to 7 inches, but the ground is still really warm, so I think everything's going to melt really quickly and become a good soaking for the ground. All right, clink, clink. All right, let's talk about what I'm wearing around my neck. So, raise your hand if you've made a bunch of these. Let me show you. My closet is full of these, and I'm probably the only one who still wears them. I absolutely love them. Every Sunday at church when we were able to go, I had a different scarf on to match my outfit. And I don't care if it's spring, summer, winter, or fall. I love wearing lace scarves. Well, they're out of style, but that's okay. I've never really been in style. But what I want you to do is also raise your hand if you have a bunch of these yarns, these lace yarns. Some of them are called Starbella. I've also got some that I got on clearance at Walmart. And if you don't know what the lace yarn is, let me show you. They were very popular probably about 7 years ago. And every brand of yarn came out with their own lace yarn. And it's super beautiful. Some of them, like this one, have sparkle in it. Some of them are lots of crazy colors. Here's one that's all teal. This one is school colors. They had a whole bunch of them in the different team colors. Here's another one. And I'm going to be honest with you and tell you, I have a whole tub of these because I love them. I have a whole tub of these yarns that I haven't used yet. Well, what are we going to do with them, right? We have a whole bunch. We got them on sale. They're beautiful colors. What in the world are we going to do with all these yarns? Okay, I'm going to show you how to take those yarns and make this beautiful scarf that is a chain scarf. This one is done using, where'd the little bow go? Here it is. 2 strands of this yarn, okay? I'm going to show you how to do one today and just used 1 strand. Let me show you up close. See the sparkle in that? And you can do lots of different things with these chains. And I'm also going to talk to you a little bit about some other things that you can do with this yarn. So let me grab one more quick sip of my coffee. All right. And now I'm going to click over to my top cam. All right. So we have all these yarns. And this one you can see is completely different. And it can still be done the same way. This one's a little thinner. This one is, of course, like I showed you, the colors for team colors. Let's put it over there where you can see it. This is that Star Bella, and just about every yarn company had these yarns. And I even saw a bunch of them on sale for $1 at the Dollar Tree. My Dollar Tree still had some the other day, actually. All right, so what you need to do one of these scarves is just some of that yarn. All right. Now I'm going to get you started with this one, and then I'm going to finish it over there. I've got one that's already ready to be finished, and I'm going to get you started. So you don't worry about the yarn being open. You're just going to grab it like this, and we're going to have a tail of about 10 or 12 inches, and we'll use that to help tie our bow. You're going to need a hook that's either an N 9mm or a 10mm. Either one of them will work. The big key to this is that you want to crochet loosely. Alrighty? So, I'm going to make a slip knot. Whoops, I went the wrong direction with that. There we go. Alright, we're going to make the slip knot. You can see my loop is very big. And that's why I said it doesn't really matter what size hook, as long as it's a nice big one. You can use a 9, a 10, 12, whatever you've got, because you want this to be a really big chain, okay? And you're just going to chain. You're going to wrap it around, pull it through, and you can see how I kind of pulled on that to give it some loopiness. We want this to be a nice loopy chain. Now, I'm doing just 1 strand of this yarn. If you wanted to make it a little bit thicker, like this gold one that I did, you would do the same thing. Let me get the other end of this yarn. There we go. You would do the same thing, only you would double your yarn like this. And again, you want that loop to be nice and big. And one thing that will be a challenge is because there's that netting in that yarn, it might get caught. So you want to make sure that your loop is nice and big. So you'll loop it, pull it through, kind of give it a little bit of a pull. And the same thing if you want a little bit thicker chain. All right, so let's go back to this other end where I started. All right, so I made a slip knot. And I chained a few chains. And again, I began with a nice long tail because I'm going to use this as my bow. And I just saw the question, could you finger crochet it? Absolutely, you sure could. It would be really easy. Make a nice big loop and pull it through. You certainly could, and that's a great idea. If you don't have a great big hook, you can finger crochet it. I'm just not real coordinated. And so I'm going to stick with my big crochet hook. All right. And also, if you finger crochet it, you're going to see you're going to get bigger loops. But that's okay. It works both ways. Just pull it a little bit, and pull it through. And you can see when I pull it through, I'm sort of bouncing it to make my loops a little bigger. And what I do is I'll do about half of it. And what you have to do is you'll have to measure. Here's my measuring tape. How long do I want this to be? It looks like one of my chains is about 1 inch, or maybe 1.5 is 3. And so just chain it as long as you want according to the measurement that you need. And this is one of those neat projects where you really don't have to count your chains. You just need to measure as you go. And the sequins on here keep falling off, so hopefully I won't lose any more. All right, and so what you do is you'll just continue to chain until it is as long as you want. This is a great pattern, or it's not even really a pattern, let's say technique, to take with you if you're going on a trip. Wouldn't this be beautiful if you're on, say, a sunny beach and you've got a sundress on and you just want a little bit of a chain around your neck? I think that would be lovely. All right, so let me grab this other one where I've chained all the chains that I want for my scarf, okay? And I like to chain enough where I can wrap it around my neck 2 times. And I want you to see this. Isn't this beautiful? It's got sequins in it. And this is one that I did not pay $1 for, but you could probably find them for $1 lots of places. All right, so here's where I stopped chaining. Here's my nice big loop. We're going to just tie that off by pulling that through. We're going to make sure that that chain is nice and tight where we began down here and where we ended. All right, so all I did is chain as long as I wanted for my scarf to be. All right, now, I'm seeing all these little sequins. And now what you're going to do is you're going to take the 2 ends and you're going to tie a knot like this. You're going to make a loop and then bring it up. And you want to push that knot as close as you can get it to those 2 ends of that chain. You can see I'm pulling nice and tight. And then all you do is you take those 2 ends, and I like to use the bunny ear style, and make a nice bow. All right, you want to see that bunny ear style again? I make a loop on this side and a loop on this side, and I just cross them. Take the one from the front and take it under. And of course, it's up to you how big you want the portions of your bow to be. Try to even them out a little bit. You can have your tails longer or you can have them shorter. It's up to you. And it makes a beautiful scarf. Okay, now, what happens if I want to make something else out of it? Well, once you have chained it, you can make it into anything you want. All right, so say here's a chain of a few. I'm going to put my hook in here. And I'm going to turn. I'm going to go in the second chain. And I'm just going to start single crocheting across. And I'm leaving my tension a little bit loose, pulling those loops. And really, you can stitch, here I'm going to do a double crochet. You can stitch anything that you want. You just have to be careful to get it through those loops, keep it loose, and just have fun. See here, I'll do a triple. Get through those loops. There we go. And see? This would make a lovely pillow. And it would be so much fun to make, say, a round pillow and then go ahead and use that ruffle for the edges. And so once you learn that you can just hold it together, forget that it has that netting in there, you've got a lot of wonderful, beautiful yarns that you can make a lot of wonderful, beautiful things. And this is what I call thinking outside the crochet box. Let me scoot back over here. I know it seems kind of weird to take a yarn that was meant for something else. Here, let me take this one off and show you. Okay, here's the one that what I made. I'm going to double it up. I'm going to put it on. And in reality, if you do not want a bow, just go ahead and cut it, and that can be the back of your scarf. And isn't this cute and pretty? And you can do as many wraps as you want. I could have gone on with that one and made more wraps. See, and it's a fun way to use something that is intended for something else, that yarn, and make something useful and pretty. And remember, and I think it's basically, once you start working with it, it's basically like working, say, a chunky 5, maybe 6 even, depending on how thick your lace yarn is. And I know it seems weird, but if you've got all that beautiful yarn that you bought, even if you only paid $1 for it, it's still beautiful yarn, and you still want to use it, right? You know, I'm still going to wear my lace scarves. I'm okay with that. Because I'm never one who's ever followed the fashions. I just find something I like and I do it. Okay, and so if you love these like I do and you don't care what other people think, because I don't, wear your lace scarves. But if you have a whole bunch of these yarns, don't throw them away. Make something fun out of them. I mean, look at these colors, okay? Wouldn't that make an awesome pillow? Just use it as it is, as a chunky yarn. You can crochet it however you want to. Just make sure you're using that great big hook, or even finger crochet it like we mentioned earlier. It's just taking, like I said, thinking outside the normal crochet box, okay? Because that's who I am, right? I never do the norms. Everybody will ask me, why do you do that a certain way? I don't know. I just do it that way. I have such a crazy imagination that it would probably scare you if you knew what was really going on up in there. All righty, I'm going to get another sip of my coffee. And if you didn't click in, make sure you do. Okay, Jolene says she's got the leftover sports team yarn. And you know what's another neat thing that you could do with that sports team yarn is just make a small square blanket for a pad to sit on if you have to go to a football game or a soccer game or something. I remember my kids were young, going to those games. My son played some tennis and stuff, bowling. And I would have given anything to have a mat to sit on. And that's a great idea. You can use that yarn and just crochet rows of single crochet in a square and make a nice stadium pad or pillow. I don't know if there'd be enough to make 2 levels and stuff it, but you could do 2 levels and put it together even without stuffing it and get a nice pad. So there's lots of things you can do. How about a blanket? You've got all these. You want to make some blankets for your dogs just to sit on in the car or around the house. That's a great idea too. Just think of it as a chunky yarn and do whatever you do with a chunky yarn. All righty. I know that was fun and silly, but I thought it would be something fun to talk about. And I'm telling you, I get questions all the time. What do I do with this lace yarn besides using it as a lace yarn? Cindy says she's glad she's not the only weirdo. Well, let me tell you something. My grandson is always telling me, oh, he calls me Oma. My grandkids call me Oma. And he's always saying, Oma, you are so weird. But the good weird, the good kind. I'm okay with that. I don't mind being weird. All right, you ready to talk about what we did this week? Well, one of the things we did is this scarf that's right behind me. Let me get out of the way. Oh, you know what? I'll just click over to that other cam. You can see it up close. This scarf is our skinny scarf. I called it the effortless skinny scarf. And I designed it using those small, remember those small little minis I got at Hobby Lobby. Now, you don't have to use those. You can use any light number 3 yarn, and you can even use a medium 4. If you use a medium 4, of course, you're going to get a little bit thicker of a yarn, or a scarf, I mean. But it works just fine. The blue and red one is some leftover mandala that I had, or mandala, however you say it. And then the purple, orange, and kind of cranberry one is one of those. It was called Plum Body Loves You, I think. one of those minis that I had. But you can use any light number 3 or even medium number 4 for that scarf. And a lot of people, especially if you live in a lighter, warmer climate, unlike me, those are kind of nice, but they're also nice just to throw on, to have just a little bit, touch of a little bit of color on your outfit. And so, I think it would look really good with, like, say, a jean jacket and a pair of jeans and a nice shirt or something, something like that. So it's a lot of fun, super easy, and the colors that you can put together on that are just super fun. All right, the other thing that we did was we finally got the pattern ready for the boho bag, and I absolutely love this. I love the way the fringe lays. It kind of curls. I love my big wooden buttons I bought for this, and you put one on the front, one on the back, and one at each of the handles just to give it a little more support. And on that video, let me unbutton this real quick. On that video, I also show you how to line the bag. Putting a lining in any bag that you make, unless you're going to use it for like produce and you want it to stretch or whatever, or maybe to the beach, putting that liner in there gives your bag so much more sturdiness, and then you don't lose your stuff. Or you know what I mean. So anyway, I love this bag, and it's one of those projects that I made that I'm going to keep for myself because I love it. And this is the one that we did using the 12 triangle grannies. We put them together. We added fringe and a nice sturdy handle. And now I'm off shopping for more yarn. Anywho, I love this bag so much. And it's really big. It measures about 12 by 12 across. So it's a really nice size bag. And it's super easy to line a bag. I also have another video out there that I did 2 years ago, I think, of how to line a rectangle or square bag also. But this is the only one that I've done with a round bag. And it's a little bit different, but not really that much, because you're basically just making the shape, sewing it together, putting it inside, and then attaching it. You don't have to have a sewing machine to make a liner for a bag. Now, it will make the sewing of the outside of the liner faster, but you don't have to have one. All right? So don't panic. I don't have a sewing machine. It's okay. You just need needle and thread and your favorite fabric. So that's our round boho bag. Again, remember, all of my patterns that I'm showing you on our videos here all have a written pattern. They have a pattern tutorial. This one has lots of pictures. And also a YouTube video, okay? And if you ever have trouble finding my patterns on Facebook, just go to the photos. And there is a photo album that says crochet pattern videos for 2020. And you'll find all my latest patterns and videos there. You can also find them, of course, all on YouTube. And go to YouTube, look through my playlist at all my older patterns. There's lots of fun stuff in there. And as we go along, we're doing a lot of updating and retesting on some of our older patterns we did. Because remember, when I first started doing this, I really wasn't doing tutorials. I was just trying to do a little video to help people understand the pattern better. Well, they wanted tutorials, and so I'm trying to go back to those older patterns because they're great patterns and make new video tutorials and add lots more pictures to the written pattern. And I'm having a lot of fun. I'm kind of wearing a few of my testers out, but I'm having a lot of fun. All right, so that's what we did on Friday. All right, yesterday, I wasn't going to do a video, but I decided to go ahead. And that's because it was ready. And we did our fall leaf coasters. And I did these in I Love This Cotton by Hobby Lobby. And I really absolutely love this pattern. It's a great size. It's about a 5 by 5 inch. You can see how it fits on a coffee mug. And I made them in I Love This Cotton. But the neat thing about this is you can use these for lots of different things. You can add them to bags, hats, scarves, placemats. You can hang them up, for decoration. You can set them around a centerpiece for decoration. And these are also really fun to make. If you're going to have a get together, say for fall, or maybe have a family get together for Thanksgiving or something, you can always give one of these to each of your family members or friends that are coming over, and then they'll have a souvenir of what a wonderful time they had at your party or your meal or get together. And you can also use them for place markers. You can just get a little on your computer, type up names or get a little card and put it on each one, and then set one of these on each of the plates. It'll have a place marker with their name on it, and they can take it home, and it's theirs to remember, again, your fun time. And I love these. And I do have a little hint for you of what we're going to do tomorrow. I have, if you've been following me for over probably 20 years, I have a pattern that I wrote, I'm going to say 9 years ago. And it's a placemat that's shaped like a fall leaf. And I looked at the original pattern and I was like, what was I thinking? So we went in, we're going to update the pattern and hopefully have a new video for you either tomorrow or Friday with that with that big leaf placemat pattern. You can use it as a doily also. I usually just set them out and put like a bread basket on it or something like that. And you can make them in cotton or acrylic yarn depending on what you're going to use it for. So anyway, that's kind of a sneak peek, although I didn't bring it with me up here because I didn't want you to see it yet. Alrighty, well that's all I've got for you today. And don't forget, you don't have to make lace scarves. You can make lots of things with this yarn. And I have an idea of what I want to do with this one because look at those colors. It's so pretty. And so it's a lot of fun. Just to take, like I said, yarns that maybe are intended for one thing and make them into something else. It is super fun. I'm trying to follow along, look at the questions. Another thing that you can do with this is you can put it on Christmas decorations by making these chains. You can put them on small trees or even big trees. You can decorate around the tops of stockings and lots of other things. Like I said, just use it like you would maybe a chunky 5 or 6 yarn and have fun with it. Now, I have an assignment for you this week. Those of you who do have some of these lace yarns and you're tired of making lace scarves, of course, I want to see what you come up with your lace yarns that are different. I don't want to see any ruffle. Well, some ruffles are fine. Don't misunderstand me. But I want you to come up with something new and different that you can make, or even if you just want to make the chain scarf. It's just super fun, and I love them. All right? And when you post a picture, go to PPD Puppy Love Crochet Group on Facebook. All right, that's where we like to post pictures. Now, you can post pictures on the Posh Pooch design page as well. It just takes longer for me to see them because I have everything set up. Like I said in the past, I had some issues with some spam, and so I made it so you can't just post pictures in the group or on the page because there were some very inappropriate things on there. And I want to keep our stuff fun, happy, joyful, okay? All right, so that's all I've got for you. Remember, if you're a praying person, to pray for these fires to get put out all over California and Colorado and all over the place. This rain that's coming, we need to pray that that rain puts those fires out. A lot of people are losing their homes and their animals, and we want to make sure that they're safe. And so we want to get these fires out. So I'm just hoping and praying that this rain and the snow we're getting here in Colorado is going to help take care of that. It's a really scary thing. Yesterday and on Sunday, the ash was falling from the sky to a point where it looked like it was almost snowing and you couldn't breathe. Maximo struggles, my little white chihuahua, with the change of the seasons anyway, and he would walk out there and he'd start that coughing and coughing and coughing. And so we need to get these fires out and get people safe. All right? So Thank you for tuning in today. And like I always say, I cannot do the silly stuff I do without all of you. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.